Hey everyone, it's Steven from Toastamac. Back in 2021, there had been a change in terminology from Autism Awareness Month to Autism Acceptance Month. And as we push for more acceptance from society, I believe that there is still an equal need for both awareness and acceptance. So, today, we will go over both of them and how each of them contribute to the ultimate goal. The tradition of Autism Awareness Month began in 1970 in an effort to educate the public on what autism is and how to support autistic individuals. It was made with good intentions, not to mention this is how the whole autism movement began in the first place. Of course, a lot has changed over the past 50 years. As you can imagine, nowadays we know quite a lot about autism. With this in mind, many of you may think, do we really still need to focus on autism awareness? Shouldn't we just change gears completely and focus on autism acceptance instead? Legitimate questions, to be sure, but let me ask you this. Within the past few years, have you heard people still asking about what autism is? Or here's a big one. Are there still individuals that only know about autism based on the portrayals in the media, like that TV show, The Good Doctor? If the answer to either of these questions is yes, then there is still a need for awareness to clear up the confusion. Now, I can understand the shift from awareness to acceptance though, as awareness, while it is an important step, is merely the starting point, not the final destination. Awareness by itself serves only to inform the public, nothing more. When people become aware about autism, then we can proceed to the next part, autism acceptance. This is where we acknowledge that autism is here to stay. And while it does have its fair share of challenges, there are also unique gifts that autistic individuals bring to the table. To this end, some examples of autism acceptance can include changing phrases like, "Oh, they'll grow out of it," or "Oh, they're just misbehaving," and instead replace them with, "What do we need to avoid doing?" or "What does this individual need?" Other examples of autism acceptance can involve championing an individual's strengths rather than just looking at their weaknesses alone. Or we can focus on dispelling the myths and misconceptions surrounding autism to let people know that autism isn't a phase, autism isn't something you just grow out of, and it is certainly not an act. Autism is a lifelong developmental disability woven into our DNA and, when nurtured, can surprise you in ways previously not thought possible. With acceptance comes the acknowledgement that the autistic community needs. So, naturally, this would be the final step, right? Wait, whoa, where are you going? We're not done yet. You really think it ends at autism acceptance? You think this is the final goal? As if. Acceptance, much like awareness, is another step, but it is not the final destination. The final destination, the true ultimate goal, is autism inclusion, where autistic individuals are better integrated into society, where we play a more vital role rather than just standing around and looking pretty. At first, I thought, wait a minute, isn't acceptance and inclusion the same thing in this case? Well, after doing some research of my own and asking various Facebook groups I'm in, I can safely assure you that there is in fact a difference. Let's take a look at some of those quotes, shall we? Eileen Taylor wrote, "Acceptance is, oh, okay, autism is a real thing and you are an autistic person. Where inclusion is, you are autistic. How can we accommodate that so you will have the same opportunities as everyone else?" Missia Julia wrote, "Acceptance is the process or fact of being received as adequate, valid, and suitable. Inclusion is the approach, attitude, and process of bringing people into a shared space or activity. To bring it down to its most simplistic level, as Dr. Ian Hale wrote, acceptance is believing the medical science. Inclusion is treating us as equals, human beings that deserve to be loved. You can find examples of inclusion when you look at after-school clubs, sports teams that allow special needs individuals to compete. There's also the Boy Scouts of America that includes special needs individuals, and, most notably, the Special Olympics. In terms of adulthood, there are companies that will go out of their way to hire autistic individuals for their special skills, much like the ARC thrift store here in Colorado. There is also the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990, which prohibits discrimination, or, in the most simplistic level, just being included in conversations and activities with your fellow coworkers. Wherever you are in life, inclusion is the ultimate goal. To get to that, you need acceptance, and before you even get to that, you need awareness. All three of these steps are equally crucial, and I wanted to make this video to emphasize that you can't have one without the other two. I hope you enjoyed this video, but what do you think? Do you agree or disagree? Maybe you have some examples of autism inclusion. Let us know in the comments section below. I'd love to hear about it. On that note, it's time to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. If you enjoy what you see, consider liking and subscribing to Toastamac and clicking the bell icon to stay up to date in our latest videos. Also, we now stream live on Fridays right here on this YouTube channel. So, if you got time Friday afternoon and I'm live, come hang out with me. And until the next video or live stream, see you later.